What's up, Trap? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 12, Episode 9. So the ladies are headed to Carnival. Carnival. I've heard people say it both ways. Let me know. Up in Toronto. But before that, we got to see what everybody's doing and getting into. Excuse me. So Portia is meeting up with Lauren. They down at the makeup spot, honey, getting them some makeup. And Portia lets Lauren know, look, me and Dennis, we're in a much better place. Our last therapy session went really, really well. And honey, he talking about wanting to give me my ring back. Lauren was like, so he cheats? He gonna give you your ring back? I never understood why the hell Portia gave that man his ring back to begin with, but I mean, it's whatever. Judge Judy said that the ring is given as a promise. And whoever breaks the promise, the other person gets to keep the ring. So he broke the promise. She should have got to keep the ring. I don't understand. Whatever. Um, but that's pretty much all that whole conversation was. And then she told Lauren that Candy, they were over at Marlo's house, honey. Things be going down over at Marlo's house, honey. They have the most interesting conversations over at the Marlo's house. But they were at Marlo's house. And the conversation came up. And Candy ended up, and it was innocent. It wasn't Candy carrying a bone. They were talking about one thing. They were talking about Kenya and Eva and the doll and all that stuff. And then it came up that what Eva said about Portia. I don't know why I keep yawning, but what Eva said about Portia, um, about she needed to be worried about what the blogs is talking about instead of worrying about what I'm talking about. And she, her C-section scar ain't even healed up yet, and she worried about what I'm saying over here. Now, Portia said she was upset by it because she said that her and Eva, had been building a friendship. So Portia, she was feeling some kind of way about, the fact that she felt like her and Eva had become really good friends and they were building up this. She said, I felt like she was a part of my village, and that she would be talking trash about her. So she was in her feelings about it. So, we had to do the whole watching everybody pack and talking about they gonna be good behavior, whatever, whatever. Then we had to get to the airport and watch everybody show up at the airport, whatever, whatever, whatever. Eva looks so cute pregnant. She is just the cutest little pregnant thing. But y'all know I love me some Eva now. And then Marlo came through. And Eva is actually starting to give Marlo the benefit of the doubt. She said, I think Marlo might really truly be trying to turn over a new leaf. And I'm gonna, she said, I still got my side eye on her, but I don't know. Giovanna is there, and I'm with Eva. Why? Why is she there? And then, of course, the question of the day is Nene coming? Because Tanya said, look, I felt some kind of way about all of a sudden out the blue calling and inviting um Nene to come on this trip. But the producers told me I had to. Anyway. But she said that she did invite Nene to go out to lunch so they could sort of talk things out and hash things out so it wouldn't be awkward. They did. They cleared the air. She invited Nene to come to Toronto. Nene said, I don't think Nene gave a definitive one way or the other. And no one has really talked to Nene to find out if she was coming or not even Marlo. So we don't know if Nene is coming on the trip. So, we go to, we flying out, honey. We flying out. We get to Toronto, and now it's about, well, who's going to get what room, because they don't know if they stand in a hotel or Airbnb or whatever the situation is. And of course, Tanya played around with them for a little bit, but at the end of the day, Tanya was like, "Look, child, we all stand at a hotel. Everybody got the same room except for me, of course. I do have the penthouse." So they get to the hotel, they check in and everything. And she said, we're going to do some dance lessons because, when you go to Carnival, you got to have your wine, especially, with the Caribbean and everything. You got to have your moves right. And everything ain't a twerk, Portia. Everything ain't a twerk, honey. So they say they're going to have a dance class and they're going to meet up and, let everybody freshen up and everything and get ready for the dance class. Well, in the interim, while they're having their little freshen up time, Kenya, Candy, and Cynthia get to having a conversation, and they get to talking about the double date that they all went on. And Kenya was like, what did you guys think? And they had a really honest conversation with Kenya and said what they didn't like, what they, how they felt, the awkwardness and what they didn't like about, that Mark would cut her off. But then when she was talking, he was like, excuse me, no, you don't talk when I talk. Um, they talked about the fact that he sort of didn't have her back when it came to the whole Nene thing. And then they said that when it was over with, Mark ended up going out with Todd and Candy later on that night instead of going home with Kenya. And Kenya was like, I felt some kind of way about it because, and at first, I'll be honest with you, at first I was like, well, dad, the man can't go out. But then I remembered that they don't live together and he's not in Atlanta. And her thing is, you're not with your family regularly enough that when you're here, you are going out and hanging out and partying till the wee hours of the morning. Like, you should want to be with me and want to be with your daughter. Like, you can do that in New York when we're not with you. And I thought about that. I said, you know what? That's a valid point. When you only down here once a month, we all need to be together. And you would think that they would want to be. You know what I'm saying? You and your husband have a long distance relationship. When y'all see each other, it should be on and popping. Even if it's just Netflix and chill. It don't have to be, intimate. It could just be we're gonna lay on this couch and we're gonna enjoy some me time. But anyway, and of course, Kenya got upset and y'all child. I swear I feel like Kenya crying every episode, honey. Every episode Kenya crying. But she got upset or what have you. Um, and Cynthia asked her point blank, like, look, are you happy? Like, is this what you want? And Cynthia said, at the end of the day, I think that Kenya's happily ever after is just not going to be what she expects it to be or what she thought it would be. And I agree. I don't know what, I can't imagine. I mean, there's got to be some therapy for your ass because according to the blogs, they've gotten back together, but they got to be, I mean, after seeing this, they need to be in some hellified therapy, okay? Um, They go down to the dance. They go down to the dance class, and that was fun. I mean, it was just real light. It was real fun. Everybody was participating. Even Eva, honey, sitting on her little ball, was doing her little thing. And poor Candy. We already know Candy can't dance. Candy is not in denial. Candy does not pretend that she can do something that she cannot do, honey. She knows she can't dance, but it's cute to see her trying. Um, I'm so sick of seeing Portia twerk. And I'm really starting to be sick of seeing Cynthia twerk. Because somebody done told Cynthia she looked cute. And I need that person to step forward. Because I need to have a few words with them. Cynthia does not look cute twerking. Okay? She has loosened up a little bit. She ain't as stiff as she was. Um, but it was fun. It was light. Like I said, everybody had a good time. Oh, the other thing I missed. This is important. I know, honey, I'm about to miss it. Come to find out, when Cynthia, Candy, and Kenya were having a conversation, come to find out that wonderful, heartfelt apology that Nene gave to Cynthia, somehow or another, it made it into the blogs. A whole transcript of this wonderful, heartfelt apology. The transcript of it, word for word, made it into the blogs. And Cynthia was like, I didn't give it to the blogs. And she said, I was really feeling some kind of way because she actually tried to reach out to Nene and realized she was blocked. And all of her messages kept bouncing back to her. And she actually asked Marlo, can you ask Nene to unblock me so I could thank her for her card? Well, good thing she didn't, because come to find out, um, the apology didn't seem so sincere when you find out that all the blogs have the apology. You know what I'm saying? And it word for word as well. And Kenya brought up a good point. Kenya said Nene looked like the bad guy in this situation. Nene looked like a bully. She was getting a lot of, pushback from, her fans and from Cynthia's fans and stuff like that. And so she was just playing um 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 damage control, but she wanted everybody to know that she did it. And so it just made it seem like it wasn't as sincere. It wasn't as sincere. So while all of this is going on, after they get done dancing, they decided they're going to go freshen up, take a shower and everything, and then they're going to meet on the rooftop for drinks and appetizers, I guess, before they go to dinner or what have you. Well, while the rest of the ladies are resting, who shows up? Miss Nene. She ended up taking a later flight. The ladies don't know that she's there yet, and of course, Tanya is excited to see her. Um, and they had a good question. I mean, a good conversation about her being there and wanting to, sort of make nice with the rest of the girls. That Nene is like, I want to get back in with the rest of the girls. Um, and so I'm here, taking baby steps. I'm here trying to make it work. Tanya was like, it's cool, glad to see you, glad you're here, and we're gonna make it work. So they getting ready to meet up on the rooftop. Now Kenya didn't make it to the dance class. And of course, Cynthia and Candy, they felt like it had a lot to do with the conversation they had, and that Kenya had gotten upset and maybe she was just trying to get herself together. Kenya said she wasn't feeling well. They were up on the rooftop, and Kenya did show up for the rooftop for the drinks and everything, and she said she just wasn't feeling well. She took an emergency, and she's just trying to work through it, and feel better. They're up on the rooftop, and Tanya lets them know that that Nene is there, and that hopefully she was going to um meet them up on the rooftop and join them there. Um, no one is excited for that, except for Tanya and Marlo, it seems like. Now, while they're talking, and I'm gonna tell you this, I appreciate how Portia did this. Portia said, we are getting along really well. Everything is going really nicely. She said, but I'm gonna be honest with you. We normally put things out on the table, and of course, everybody was like, "Oh Lord, here we go." And Portia said, "So I do want to put some things out on the table, but I don't want it to turn into any argument. I just want us to be transparent and honest about how we feel and our conversation." And so, of course, everybody's kind of looking at her, waiting for the shoe to drop, like, "What you about to say?" And Portia, and I like the way Portia approached it. She said, Eva, me and you have been building a really good friendship, and I really felt like you were she said, in my village. And so it hurt my feelings. See, I appreciate the way she approached it, because she said it hurt my feelings when I found out the things that you said about the blogs and my C-section scar, healing up or whatever. Now, I don't understand why the C-section piece is a big deal. I understand the blogs part, but I'm like, it was a dig, it was a read, who cares? Now, Eva's first inclination was to do what Eva always does, which is to say she didn't say it. And Candy was like, so I'm a liar? And Eva wasn't trying to say that Candy was a liar. She said, look, I'm going to say this in front of Candy. I'm telling you, I did not say that. Now, and Candy even said, Eva, you get so excited and you start getting into your little reads, and I don't think you remember what you say. And Portia said, well, you know what? I'm not saying you're a liar, but what I am saying is we have heard you deny saying things before, only to find out later on that they were actually said. So then Cynthia sort of chimed in, because at first Cynthia was because Cynthia was there. And I think at first Cynthia was just kind of like, don't put me in this. I ain't trying to go there. But then Cynthia said, let me say this. And of course, Portia was giving her the, what you gonna say? And Cynthia said, because Cynthia know Eva said it. But I don't think Cynthia wanted to create a bigger issue out of it. And she said, at the end of the day, I don't think there was any malicious intent by whatever was said. We were talking. She was upset. She was mad, and she was upset, and she said some stuff. But I do not think there was any malicious intent, and I don't think she meant to hurt you. And Marlo, in turn, said what she should have said to begin with was, I did not mean to hurt you, and I sincerely apologize for what I said. Because at the end of the day, I don't think Eva is intentionally lying. I think Eva just don't be remembering what she said. But instead of saying, I didn't say that, I didn't say that, I didn't say that, you should have just been like, well, maybe I said it. I don't know. All I can do is apologize. Maybe I said that shit. You know what I mean? Because I don't think she means any malicious intent. And Candy was like, so you calling me a liar? And I don't think she meant to do that either. But that's what you're doing. By saying that I ain't said, you calling me a liar. Like, what you gonna say here? So they were able to resolve it, and I'm glad that it resolved itself without it turning into an arguing, yelling, screaming, cuss you out type situation. And then who comes around the corner? Dun dun dun, Nene. And that is where it ends. So we will see where we pick it up next week, honey. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in those comments, please.